guys, how's it going? So this is my third vlog, and I haven't done one since before I went to college, many moons ago. It's currently March 27th, and I think the last one I did was in like August, like right before I went off to school, so a lot has changed. But I'm sitting in my dorm room, just came back from spring break. I'm looking to avoid my homework. And I had a really interesting experience this afternoon on the way home from my plane ride, so I thought I would share it. I came home today, it's Saturday, and school gets back in tomorrow, so I came back to school a day early just to like get myself oriented and like clean my room and like get ahead on work, but that didn't actually happen. And so none of my friends were around to pick me up, so I was like, whatever, I'll just take a taxi, like I've done it before. I picked it out of the taxi line. So I get into the taxi, and the guy's like really nice, like seems like a good guy. I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna get raped or murdered, like it's fine. This guy is like a typical blue collar guy, like whatever. So 10 minutes in, the guy starts telling me the story about how, oh, back in the 60s, like I used to sell dope in California, and I was just like, okay, whatever, just get me there, like just get me to school, like. And like kept dropping these like random comments about how he's like gambling addictions and like an alcohol problem, and I was just like, oh my god, so interesting. I go to college, you know, like I was just like, okay, like get me out of here, like texting away on my phone, like trying to just get through this car ride. And then we start talking politics, and I know what you're thinking. Okay, like Gina Cristo, known liberal, talking politics with a blue collar taxi driver from Ohio, probably not the best idea. But it was fine at first. Like at first he was really nice, like was really willing to like have a dialogue about it to the best of his abilities, and like was just really willing to talk about like he had some really like liberal perspectives on Libya. Was like, oh, like I feel like we should help them because, you know, it's like a you know, human rights crisis, but he would always qualify it with a more conservative perspective of like, oh, why should we be spending American money, like it's other countries, whatever. So we had a conversation about that, and it was going fine, and I was like, okay, we're gonna make it through this, it's gonna be okay. And then he straight up asks me, like we're in the middle of a conversation, there's like a lull in the conversation, and he straight up asks me and goes, so are you racist? And I thought it was like he was like feeling me out, like to see if I was racist, not like to see if he had a ally in racism. And I was like, no, like I'm, you know, like I'm from Boston, like I'm a pretty liberal person, you know, go to a college, I'm 18, so like I try to keep an open mind, like I'm the stereotypical, you know, college 18-year-old, like I'm liberal and loving it, whatever. And he goes, oh, well, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm racist. And like goes into this 20-minute rant about like how black people are like the worst, like animals, he called them animals on earth, and how like they mess up like the taxi line at the airport. And he's like, yeah, me and my buddies, we have a good vibe, and then like the black people show up and it's all fucked up. And like, and he, and this gem, he was like, yeah, I don't know, civil rights, kind of a waste of time. Now we have more people taking welfare and more people taking my jobs and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my god, this is a chapter of Guyland. This is like an episode of like The Simple Life. I don't even know what's happening. And so I'm sitting there just trying to trying so hard to negotiate like some kind of discussion or some kind of middle ground, but there's no fucking middle ground when you're talking about racism, and I just didn't know what to say. And he was like, he kept like trying to get like little bits of racism out of me, and I was like, I'm not gonna give it to you, it's just not gonna happen. And oh my god, and I just like, I've never been faced with such blatant racism before. And it's funny because I stepped off of the plane into, you know, Ohio, and it was like racism, and it's like, all right, well, let's be more stereotypical, shall we? Like, not only did I just come from one of the most liberal states in the country, but I am being like welcomed back into this great Midwestern land with all of these like stereotypical views, and it just like, it makes me really sad to know that shit still exists. You know what I mean? Like, I am so fortunate to go to a school or be in like a bubble where, you know, I'm sure there's racism, and I'm sure that there are, you know, inequality. No, I know there are inequalities, but they're not quite as blatant as, so are you racist? Let's talk about it. Let's bond about it. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, it was such a slap in the face. And as the conversation was happening, I was like, I have to do a vlog about this. I haven't done this in forever. You know, I've been writing / vlogging pictures on my Tumblr. I've been totally not dedicated. So I thought I would tell my story. So yeah, that was my experience this afternoon. I'm back at college, just gotta make it through the next 6 weeks, and then I am done with my first semester of college. It is insane. And you know what's ironic is that I came to college with this huge plan, right? Like, poli-sci, social double major, gonna go into the Peace Corps, gonna do this, this, and this. And now I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I genuinely do not know what I'm doing with my life. And it like scares the shit out of me, but kind of excites me at the same time. I was on a journalism track for a really long time where I really wanted to like write and like do things like that, but that industry is so not stable anymore, and also internships are really difficult to get. So I'm kind of back on law school track, and I'm kind of just figuring it out. Whatever. I still have 6 more weeks to use the excuse, I'm only a freshman, I'll figure it out. I'll just hyperventilate next year. So yeah. Maybe I'll start doing these vlogs more, because I actually didn't realize how much I missed them until I started venting out loud in an empty room and seeing how spazzy I am. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for reading my blog. I hope you come back. If the Jabe family is watching, I just wanted to say thank you for your constant dedication to my vlogs and my journalism career. I will thank you if I ever get a Nobel Peace Prize. Don't count on it, but dream about it. So yeah, thanks guys.